Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to my 3 takeaways episode from the interview that I posted this past Monday with Hal Coleman. What an interesting guy. He was one of the interviews that I've had most recently. That was most fascinating because he's so unique, and I'm going to get into his uniqueness a little bit into the 3 takeaways, but make sure if you guys haven't listened to it yet that you go back and listen to it. He started a pest control business as a one-man business and then grew it to $1 million business and finally sold it. And he has the story of him selling it as well, which is a crazy story, how quickly it happened. So you want to make sure that you go back and listen to that. This episode with Hal is really important if you're an entrepreneur. So make sure that you share it with a friend who might have their own business or think about starting their own business or has a good business and they're thriving and wants to take it to the next level, because there's a lot of lessons in here that can help you as an entrepreneur, but there's a lot of great life lessons in here as well for your own personal development. So I hope you were able to get something out of it and take some notes. And I want to give you my 3 takeaways. Starting with number 1 is look at the competition and do it differently. Now, this is really pertainable to really anybody in their own career and a business, but he talks about it in the business sense where he always looked at different people in his industry, saw how they did it, and found a way to do it differently so he could stand out, so he could be unique. He was like, if they're all apples in the industry, I want to be the orange. I want to be the person that has a unique selling proposition so that people see me as having something that my competitors don't have. And I think that's really important for any business to think about how can I find a way to get others' attention? How can I find a way to get to stand out, to be different, to be unique? Because I think in every single industry nowadays, or a lot of industries, they're so saturated. There's so many different people competing within the same industry. So the only way that you're going to make it, the only way that you're going to be successful is to find a way to really stand out. And I really think this is a personal lesson as well, because if you are one person in a large business or in a large company or on a large team, whatever it is, you are not going to get a whole lot of attention, and you're not going to get a whole lot of chance to really stand out. But if you do something different, if you approach something a different way, if you ask a question a different way, if you attend meetings and really participate and really bring up thoughtful new ideas, they're going to see you as somebody who's very valuable because you bring something that the other people at your level don't really bring. You're not going to be just an apple like everyone else. You're going to be that orange. Takeaway number 2 was you never know what could come from an action. I really like this one. I'll talk about it, how it pertained to his life real quick. When he was in high school, his friends told him he should call in to this radio station because he always does these impersonations that are hilarious and that are comical. And so one day he called in to the radio station and did this voice, called himself Milton Crabapple, and the radio station really loved it and called him back and invited him to continue to come on. And so he continued to come on, and years and years and years later, he was 17 when he did that. He's 69 now. He still does videos as Milton Crabapple. He did stand-up comedic shows as Milton Crabapple. He gave big talks in front of businesses and stuff like that, and as Milton Crabapple, he created this whole persona off of just taking this one small action that his friends recommended that he did. I think the biggest lesson is just don't minimize the potential for any particular action that you take. You never know what a small action could turn into. So always be willing to go, always be willing to move, always be willing to take action. And the other thing that he did was buy a python and put it under his sister's house as a business strategy, as a way to get his name, his business name known on the news, in the paper, and all that sort of thing. So you never know what could come from an action. Takeaway number 3 is always exceed expectations. I think this is really important because he always intentionally kind of told his clients what he was going to give them and always gave them one thing more. He always told them the propositions, the unique selling propositions he was going to give, and then give something even a little bit more. That way they feel like almost they're indebted to him. It's almost like a subconscious thing that I owe this person something. And he talks about the law of reciprocity. If I give something to you, you're going to feel like you have to give something back to me. And that's just a human nature thing. If I open the door for you, you want to open the door for me as we go through the double doors. He mentioned that specific example in the podcast. So you always want to exceed expectations, because not because you expect somebody else to do something else for you, but that's a really good key in business. If you do more for your clients, they're going to be willing to do more for you. They're going to be willing to give you referrals and things of that nature. And he kept bringing up the quote by Zig Ziglar: you can have everything you want in life if you can help enough other people get what they want. Again, you can have everything you want in life if you can help enough other people get what they want. So again, guys, my 3 takeaways. Number 1 is look at the competition and do it differently. If you have your own business, you have to find a way to stand out, to be unique, to be different, so you're not just another apple in a whole bushel of apples, but you're an orange. If you're a big part of a big group, you want to find a way to stand out so you can elevate in your career. Takeaway number 2 was you never know what could come from an action. Don't minimize the potential of anything that you do. You never know what a small action could turn into. And takeaway number 3 was always exceed expectation, because the law of reciprocity, if you're in a business and you do something for someone else, they'll want to do the same thing, if not more, back for you. And we experience that in our everyday life and personal interactions as well. And like Zig Ziglar said, you can have everything you want in life if you can help enough other people get what they want. I hope you guys enjoyed these 3 takeaways from the Hal Coleman interview. I hope you were able to get something from it. I hope you can think of a way to be unique in whatever it is that you're a part of, whether you're a part of a business, whether you have a business and you're part of an industry, you're a part of a market, whatever it is, find a way to be unique. I hope this sparked you to take an action that you've been holding yourself back from taking, because you realize that I never know what this could turn into. So I hope you guys enjoyed these 3 takeaways. I hope you enjoyed the interview with Hal Coleman. Make sure you share it with a friend who is bored, who's continually texting you, I am so bored during this quarantine, I'm not able to do any of the things that I want to do. Send them this episode, because this is such a great episode for them to listen to during this time, because they might be able to be more creative during this time of necessity, to think of how they can be unique in the area that they need to. I hope something here allows a friend, allows a family member to get a little bit closer and closer to your best you.